So as an entrepreneur myself, time is easily your most valuable asset. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about one specific time management tool that I've used to kind of revolutionize my schedule, which has been time blocking. So hello everyone, I'm Shanta Gino, and I help teach the next generation. So as an entrepreneur myself, time blocking has been such an essential thing to help me in terms of utilizing my time to the most potential. There's a lot of things over time that I've learned to help with time management and time control. But time blocking has been the, essential building block for everything that I do nowadays. So today I'm going to talk about it, what I've learned, and what you can utilize yourself if you're an entrepreneur like myself. So the biggest thing that you can do easily is define your priorities. What do you want to do? What are your goals for your business? What are the most important things that you do for your business? And kind of figure out what those are. A lot of you may be in this game of entrepreneurship, but a lot of you may not truly know why. And if you know why, you don't know what you have to do. So I would say figure out what your business goals are and prioritize them, and then focus on tasks that align with that long-term goal. So for me, my goal for last year was trying to hit 50K revenue in that year. And the most important tasks was going out and sourcing books, figuring out ways to get more inventory, figuring out ways to utilize so all the books have a value, whether it's on eBay, whether it's on buyback companies, whether it's for thrift stores, whether it's on there's so many different ways that you can get money back for the book. So my business partner and I were trying to figure out many different ways to get income from books. So the most important task was finding ways to get income from books and selling books and sourcing books. And all of those tasks aligned with the long-term objective of 50K revenue that year, because we had done previously, I think 10, 20, 25. So we wanted to double it that year because we were leaving our jobs and really putting a lot of effort because we got an opportunity. So figure out what the biggest task is that align with your goal. I don't know what your business is, but what I do know is that you have goals and you want to hit them. You want to hit them. So make sure your tasks align with those goals. And when you have your tasks, make sure you give them specific time blocks on your calendar to dedicate to just doing that. So if your most important task, I'll kind of based off of my business, but my most important task is sourcing. So if I wanted to do physical sourcing, my time block would be from probably 8 to around noon, because that's the time where stores and libraries open. So those would be the things and the times where I would go, okay, there's only one thing I'm doing during this time. I'm going in, I'm scanning for books that are profitable, I'm paying, and I'm going to the next spot. And at the last one, I'm going home and listing them. It's that simple. You need to have that laser focused mindset of I'm doing this to do this thing, and then I'm done. It's not I'm going to do this thing while also trying to do this thing and trying to do this thing at the same time. It doesn't work. If you set, all right, so I have this time to do this specific thing and nothing else, you're going to get it done. So whatever your most important thing is, set that as the most important priority. Set that in the morning when you have the most energy, or wherever you have the most energy, set it to where you have the most energy. So to kind of figure that out, use the Eisenhower matrix. That kind of helped figure out what was most important in terms of importance and urgency. Because something may seem really urgent, but it's not important. So like responding to an email, it seems urgent, but is it really important to dedicate that time to it? Probably not. So there's probably more things that are more important than that. So following on from this, when you've got an idea of what the most important tasks are and such, you want to create a daily/weekly schedule. I prefer a weekly schedule. That way I can kind of break down the days. Okay, so this day, this is the main thing. Then the following day, this is the main thing. But if you prefer a daily schedule, that also works. So you want to divide your day into specific time blocks. So how mine is divided is I have my morning, which is like 4 or 5 to around 7 to 8, where I do the deepest, hardest work. The things that I need to do to achieve the most success based on the 80-20 principle that I've briefly talked about here before. Following that, I have, a break where I eat breakfast, do my thing. Then I come back, I do work that is still important, but is not as urgent per se. So that would stuff be like rescanning books, repricing books, stuff that does get me results, but it's not the super most important thing. And then I go to the gym, I come back, lunch, etc., go back to work, dinner, etc., go back to work. and then wind down around 8. So you need to have a schedule not to specifically similar to mine, but you need to have an idea of, so this is the times I'm working, this is the times I'm taking a break or eating, this is the times I'm going to do probably the thing that I'm passionate or hobby or exercise, because you still want to have that in time, which I'll get more into later, and kind of leave it like that. If you have meetings, administrative work, strategic planning times, you want to also include that into the time as well. So if you have a meeting at like 10 a.m. with a potential client or with team members, make sure you have that time jotted down and leave it at that time. If you have an appointment, leave it at that time. If you want to dedicate an hour to just the admin stuff, dedicate it to a specific time and do it only during that time. Don't do it during other times. I know I've been struggling with emails because I'm like, I really want to check my emails all the time, but if you check them all in one day, it's a lot easier on you because you're not constantly thinking about it. Like, all right, at this time, I'm gonna check it, I'm gonna leave it as is. Because what I found is I'm not getting, as I'm a book guy, I'm not getting a lot of emails from like people who are trying to get books. I'm getting emails about, okay, this book is on sale. Hey, this book is on sale. We're having this book to heal. But I don't have to constantly check, if that makes sense. So you may have something different. Your business may be different than mine, but the same principle still applies. If you have meetings, schedule them. If you have admin work that you want to do, schedule it all at one time. So you batch it all at one time, get it out of the way. Preferably at the end of the day where you're less taxed on terms of the work. And then for the non-essential stuff that you have to do, but it's not as important, I would schedule that to maybe the weekend. So like planning and strategizing for the following week, I would do that on a Sunday because it's like a more relaxed time period, but it's to set up a good Monday, Tuesday, etc. So I usually plan that week on the Sunday before. Then you want to try and set boundaries as well. When I first was going super hard on the goal of trying to get out of my my part-time job, I specifically set time blocks and boundaries. So I let people know, hey, you're not gonna get a response from me. You're not gonna get anything out of me during these times. So if you'd like to speak to me, you want to go do something, you're gonna have to do it on these specific times because that's all the time I have to dedicate. So during this time, I was like 90% work and 10% with family, with friends and such, because I was so dead set on getting out of the job. Now you may have different priorities than me. You may want to go, all right, I'm going to go 100% on my business. Fuck the friends, fuck the family, let's get the work done. So make sure you let everyone know, hey, I'm not available for so-and-so amount of time. Do not call, do not text, and expect a response from me. If you might want to go a little bit less, where it's like, hey, I'm on these times, you ain't getting anything from me. But like for you have 3 hours on, let's say, a Saturday. That's the only time I'm available. That also works. Just make sure you set it clearly to people. Hey, I'm not available unless it's this time, in which case you can text me and expect a response. Otherwise, too bad. Sucks to be you. And make sure you communicate with your team if you have a team as well to, let them know, hey, I will be working on this thing at this time. Do not disturb. If you need something, you're going to get a response after such and such. Following this, I would say to use technology to the best of your ability. So when you time block, use a calendar. I think Asana has one as well. I'm currently trying to find more websites and such that time block for you to make it easier for people, because I know time blocking yourself may be a bit hard because you may not know and truly understand how to actually do it. So you want to try to utilize AI and technology and such. You also want to, if you're someone who needs constant reminders and such, you can also set alarms and reminders. It's like, hey, at this time, you got to get shit done. At this time, you got to go do this. At this time, you have to do that. That's when reminders and alarms can work. I personally don't use them because I'm very cognizant of my time. I know when I have to do something. So I'm not constantly worried about, oh shit, what am I doing now? Yeah, that's right, I gotta do that. No, I kind of know. I look at my calendar like 17 times before the next day comes up. So I kind of got an idea of what's going on. And once you've got this going down, you've kind of got an idea, you've time blocked everything, you've set your boundaries, your schedule's been set. What you want to then do is when the weekend comes around, preferably, you want to review and adjust what worked and what didn't. So you want to review your time blocks and answer the question, did I do the thing that I set? So if you set 3 hours of doing work and you did your 3 hours, great. How did you do that? and how can we replicate it again so we can continue to do that. Now, it might be, you did 1 hour and then you had an emergency come up. Well, there's nothing you can really do about that. But if it's like, I did an hour and then I went on YouTube for about 30 minutes and then I came back, then I went and responded to emails for 30 minutes and then I came back. Well, now you can see, okay, so YouTube distracted me and my emails distracted me. So what can I do to make sure that they don't distract me and I can limit how much? Maybe you get a productivity blocker like Freedom, for example. I know Freedom blocks, apps and websites for a specific amount of time that you set. Maybe you could move to a different place. Maybe you could block those out. Maybe you could do something else. There might be different things that happen that kind of limit your productivity, which is super important. And anything that takes away your time is time that you lose making money or making progress. Then you want to analyze your time management techniques that you've been using. So time blocking, Eisenhower matrix, anything else that you've learned from my channel or from, research and such, and make the necessary changes. You have to make these changes. You have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable, because it's one thing to have a 9 to 5 because your boss will just tell you what to do and you just do it. Well, you don't have a boss, right? You're an entrepreneur. You are your own boss. So who tells you what to do? No one. You have to kind of get off your ass and do everything. So you need to understand, as an entrepreneur, it's up to you to succeed. It's up to you to set these goals. It's up to you to do everything. No one else is going to help you out. No one else is on your side in terms of, hey, make sure you do this thing at this time. No. That's on you, big dog. It's up to you to do all that. With that in mind, you want to make sure as the last thing that you set aside some personal time. If you set work 100%, what you'll find is you'll get exhausted, you'll get burnt out, and you'll quit being an entrepreneur. And I don't want to see that. I have seen so many people growing up be entrepreneurs, quit in a couple of days because they gave 100% effort and burnt themselves out. Doesn't work like that. You want to give yourself some time, some break time. So exercise, make sure you still have time for gym or whatever you enjoy doing that's physical, your hobbies, your relaxation times. Try and include some time to it. I regularly do exercise. I gotta go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week now. I used to go every day, but my body is telling me to don't fucking do that. So I kind of had to relax a little bit. So I kind of relaxed on the exercise, but I am doing more stuff that I enjoy. I'm incorporating some more relaxation techniques such as meditation and such. And make sure when you do your time blocking that you set aside, downtime or breaks so you don't burn yourself out. I know when I was doing the goal that I was doing last year, by about I would say September or August, I was burnt the hell out. I was so tired all the time. I think I was downing like 300 milligrams of caffeine a day just to get by because I was so tired and I knew I still had work to get done. That was miserable. But when I took time off and got back into it, then everything was like, oh, so you do need to relax. You do need to take breaks. You can't just go 100% all the time. It doesn't work like that. So make sure you have time for yourself as an entrepreneur. So when you time block, keep all of this in mind. Creating a daily schedule, setting boundaries like technology, personal time, and reviewing and adjusting. You need to keep this all in mind. As someone who has been testing for the past 4 years to succeed as an entrepreneur, it takes work. But when you've got it down, oh, you're good. Oh, it's so easy. To give you an idea of how much time control I have, I can freely do any work at any time, at any point in the week. I can do whatever I necessarily want at any point. I don't have any issues with time because I know what I can do. I know that I'm completely available at all times. I don't have school. I don't have any other responsibilities. I do whatever I want whenever I want. So I work whenever I want. So if this is something that you want to achieve, you have to put in the work now. Is it going to take time? Absolutely. Do you want to learn how to do it? Yes. This is a great way to do it. But if you want to get more in depth with learning how to have total time control, such as myself, there's a link down below for my coaching package. And if you click that link below, you and I will get to work one-to-one. And I will do everything in my power to get you up to my level. Because at this point, I don't worry about time. I'm so relaxed on time. And I want other people to experience that because, oh man, it's such a great feeling to just know, oh, I can just do this whenever. I can do this whenever I want, wherever I want, however I want. And that's such a great feeling as an entrepreneur.